Welcome in live here on a Thanksgiving special on SportsGrid. Kevin Walsh, Donnie Rightside, and Joe Lisi. We're now joined by NFL insider Adam Kaplan. Kat, thanks for joining us and a happy Thanksgiving.
You guys, good to be with you today.
Let's talk right off the top here with this Bears-Lions game, Cap. And I just want to ask if you've heard anything around this Chicago job. I know sometimes you say wait and see, but Cap, come on. We know how this ends in Chicago, don't we? With Matt Eberflus being let go at the end of this season?
Yeah, the feeling around the league, Kevin, is you always have to wait till you have information, right? The feeling was that if Eberflus did not make the playoffs, there probably will be changes. And Matt has already changed his offensive coordinator. In fact, last year he made 2 coaching changes in season to his staff. After that great start, it's been downhill. Now, I heard you guys before I came on, Caleb Williams has looked better with Thomas Williams. You calling the plays. Thomas Brown. Gosh, I've been around so long. I remember Thomas Brown as a running back. Okay, so he's a play caller. He did call plays briefly, I'm told, last year with the Panthers, but he's done a good job so far. But the expectation, as I understood it, coming to this season with the Bears was, yes, they had a rookie quarterback, but they thought because they'd improved this roster, Ryan Poles especially, the general manager of personnel control, he did such an aggressive job this offseason that they really thought they could make the playoffs with Caleb Williams. And barring it, I don't want to call it a miracle, but you look at it, the 2.5 games back of the final wild card spot in the NFC, it's highly unlikely you're going to get it, and we know it's coming here. But I would tell you this, though, with this job, you guys were talking about it before the break, this is a very attractive job. Caleb Williams is a very gifted quarterback. This is a good roster. The defense, by the way, that had major injury concerns in their secondary, they've got healthier. They should be better, and this is an attractive job. Talking to some coaching agents, this is a job that will be coveted.
Let's move on to the second game of the day here. Right in the middle, the Dallas Cowboys, as always. Detroit plays 1, Cowboys play 2. But, Cap, I need some help on this one. Losing the locker room is something that we do see time to time in the NFL. Now, Brian Dable losing the locker room, which when you saw all the players talking after the game, it wasn't good stuff coming out. But take me through Daniel Jones being released to passing over Drew Lock to now going with Drew Lock on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, Donnie, it's interesting. So basically, internally, the way I understood it is, from a coaching perspective, there was one thing two things really, but one in particular that Tommy DeVito had over Drew Lock. Much better athlete. Much better pocket movement. They have a real concern at left tackle. They're down 2 left tackles today. That's a problem for this matchup. But the better quarterback, and it's not close, is Drew Lock. Drew Lock, we could argue whether he should have been a second-round pick, but he was. Okay, he's got a much better arm. He's a good pocket passer. But the problem that he has is a lack of mobility. That is an issue. And that, by the way, that's going to come into play in this game today, is the issue at left tackle. Jermaine Illuminor, who was going to be the left tackle, who started off the season as a right tackle, then moved to guard, he's not going to be able to play today with a quadriceps injury. Andrew Thomas is on injured reserve for the second straight season, so that's a problem. But let's call it like it is. If they were trying to win games, okay, and this has not been lost with other people around the league that I've talked to, if you're trying to win games, Drew Lock would have been the quarterback last week. They could say whatever they want, okay? Tommy DeVito won games last season. He moves better in the pocket, that's fine. But the better quarterback is Drew Lock. And on your point, that is not a good thing around players, because I can tell you this, from covering this business 27 years, players always know who the better player is. And let's not forget, Drew Lock had been the backup quarterback all season. The inactive third quarterback had been Tommy DeVito. So on your question, your point, that has not been lost on the players.
Cap, let's look at the night game. Dolphins are riding a 3-game winning streak. They're 3.5-point underdogs against Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. We saw Green Bay dominate San Francisco. What have you seen from the Dolphins, not just offensively, but defensively?
Yeah, boy, Joe, this story, Chop Robinson, their first-round pick. Now, I was told before the draft that he would go in the top 40. The issue with him was he's very raw, kind of unrefined, needed further refinement. You didn't want him to play a lot. But as you know, following the Dolphins, they're down 2 edge rushers, okay, who are injured reserve. He had to play, and he is now leading the NFL over the last 4 weeks in quarterback pressures. So what are pressures? This is the way the teams tell me. In their own grading system, clubs will tell you that, did you make the quarterback move off the spot? Like some of the stats services, if you got close to the quarterback, that's quarterback pressure. But clubs don't grade it that way, Joe. Did you make the quarterback move? If you did that, that is a true quarterback pressure, and he's looked really good. This is a great story, and they've needed it. Look, if you look at the urgency in this game, right? The Dolphins are a game and a half back of the Broncos for that number 7 seed, the final wild card spot. They have to have this game. I know the Dolphins historically and warm weather teams don't do well in cold weather. It's going to be the high 20s, moderate wind. Yeah, it's going to be cold. Conditions aren't great, but the Dolphins are playing really good football right now. And look, the Packers are playing well. Look, I'm not denying that. It's their defense that's come around here. Jordan Love hasn't had to throw the ball very much. And you were talking about it. Josh Jacobs running the football well. They're playing really good defense. But the Dolphins have way more urgency for this game than the Packers do.
Do you feel, though, that Cap right now, something we talked a little bit about here on the kind of the desk today, a team like Green Bay, a team like Minnesota, they kind of look up at the Detroit Lions. And, again, while the Lions have been given a lot of praise, and I understand that, but those teams are right there within distance. Those teams still have games to be played against Detroit, where for them that sense of urgency is trying to go out there and win a division, and you can't have any missteps if they want to do that.
They can't, but remember, they already lost to the Lions. The 2 games back. It's going to be hard for them. Do they have urgency? Yes, but the major urgency is clearly with the Dolphins. This is what you call, coaches will tell you, I love this term, this is a got-to-have-it game. They got to have this game. I know that the teams that travel, more often than not, don't win on Thanksgiving, and this is a tough one for them. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why this number is only 3.5. It's because the Dolphins have a very good chance to play competitive football in this game. We know in Buffalo they haven't done well over the years in the cold weather, but this is one that they got to have. This is a fun one. This is obviously of the 3. This is the game that I think could be very good. But no, that's that. By the way, that first game, the way that Caleb Williams is playing, I know you guys mentioned this earlier. The number is 10. That is way too high. I didn't realize it was that high.
Cap, sticking quickly in the North, the news that Daniel Jones signs with the Minnesota Vikings. What have you heard around that situation?
This is why he did it. And by the way, that signing, it's going to be the practice squad. It'll be official tomorrow. Here's why he did it. Kevin O'Connell, okay, and this is also a very good football team. His agents put it out there that he wanted Daniel Jones, their client, to sign with a team where they had a chance to win. But he also gets the chance here to be coached by Kevin O'Connell, the so-called quarterback whisperer. The job he's done for Sam Darnold. Okay, everyone gave up Sam Darnold for dead. He was done. He can't play football. The Jets made a terrible mistake. In terms of drafting, he shouldn't have done it. Well, look at what Kevin O'Connell's done for him. You saw Josh Jacobs last season. He's done a great job. And Kevin O'Connell, I remember covering Kevin for that 08 draft. So that's many years ago, and he's doing a great job. And let's face it, Kevin, you talked about it. The quietest 9-2 in the National Football League. This is hard to believe. They're only a game back of the Lions. They're clearly in it. This is a great story. And quite frankly, if you look at the roster, you look at it and go, how in the world are they doing it? You know about the receivers. You guys mentioned Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson, but it's the no-name defense. And Brian Flores, I know he didn't do a great job with the Dolphins. He is right now the NFL's best defensive coordinator.
Cap, here's a great way to end it here on Thanksgiving with a question of, there's a 3-8 football team that's quarterback says, you know what? If I come back, maybe it'll be the Jets next year. What's going on with the Jets? And is Aaron Rodgers going to be a Jet next season?
So much misinformation coming out of the Jets building. I could tell you that it's highly unlikely Aaron Rodgers will be back. That's my understanding. It's not just that he turns 42 next December. He turns 41 next month. It's they want to figure this out. Think of it this way, because they have a new general manager, Donnie. If you're a general manager, do you really want an older quarterback in his 40s as your guy, as your franchise quarterback? No. They'll be drafting quarterback next year. But as I told you last week, guys, not a great quarterback draft on paper right now.
All right, we're going to watch all this play out here. Certainly an interesting one with them hosting Seattle this weekend. Cap, we appreciate it again. A happy Thanksgiving to you and the family.
Guys, same to you and yours.
All right, excellent there. We're going to talk to the pro football doc, Dr. David Chow, next.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards.
That was
in!
But he had that program was already going there.
Only on SportsGrid.
We live in a society right now where everybody's a snowflake, everybody's a cupcake, and everybody thinks that nothing is fair. Everything is like, it's not fair. We should have a better chance. We need more. You know what? I'm old enough to remember when you needed to have a perfect goddamn record to win a college football championship. That's the way it was. 11-1, too bad.
Sports Rage tonight. Only on SportsGrid.
Fillet Indiana. They would smash them. Honestly,
do you listen to yourself speak? That's not a reality question. They have not played each other. You are using hypothetical.
Team, and they got embarrassed.
As so many
if
teams
they would have
do.
won that football, yes, that's you're
but that's the same
100%
time.
correct.
No.
The
Stop.
only
Please, stop.
the only
Let me
argument
speak.
is Indiana is a decent football team and a product of their environment.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
He shouldn't need to hire outside help at this point to be able to help, let alone outside help, Joe, that used to work for him.
Until they get him out of the way, I just don't see how this gets any better. And like you said, who are you picking from? Because most people who know the league want nothing to do with the ownership group there with the Jets.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back here to Pro Football Today. We are now joined by the Pro Football Doc, Dr. David Chow. He and the group over at SixScore.com have been helping us out all season long with the injury analysis that we need. Make sure you go to SixScore.com/picks. The promo code SportsGrid will get you some sick picks there, which have been excellent this season. Doc, we appreciate you joining us. A happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you guys at SportsGrid. Actually working from home today.
Ah.
All the staff is at home. I just have to convince my wife that I'm actually working.
Well, let her know, Doc. This is very important because we got a lot of interesting spots on this 3-game window here, including Detroit. Some key names on the injury report throughout the week. David Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown, they are active. What do you think their effective level, though, will be in this one?
Not really worried about Amon-Ra St. Brown. David Montgomery should be okay to go with his shoulder. But the bigger injury issues are, of course, left tackle Taylor Decker and also Carlton Davis, right? And right now, Chicago's the trending healthier side. They're getting some offensive linemen back. They're only missing one right now. So the trends are that Chicago's headed in the right direction by health and Detroit the wrong direction. I get the line was 10.5, and it moved based on all this data of Detroit hasn't won in all these different Thanksgivings. Yeah, Detroit hasn't even been good until the last 2 years, so I don't think you can count that trend. 10 points is a lot right now, so let's see what happens. Hopefully it's a competitive game.
Just quickly, Doc, on Taylor Decker, because I think for the Lions, we know that this is a team now booked as Super Bowl favorites. He's one of the most important players. What's the big picture outlook on their left tackle?
I think the big picture, Taylor Decker will be fine, just with the short week this week and maybe another week, but he'll be back well ahead of the playoffs.
Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants going to play today this afternoon. I want to start talking about the New York Giants because you do have a new quarterback in there, Drew Luck, but can they protect them, Doc? Both tackles, some issues today for the Giants, it looks like.
There's no question there's some issues at the tackles for the Giants, but also there are pass rush issues for the Cowboys. Yes, they got Micah Parsons back, but they're still missing several other pass rushers, edge rushers, and DBs for the Cowboys. It's interesting. Does the public like Drew Lock or Danny DeVito? I think with the Drew Lock announcement, the line actually shrank a little bit. Look, Tommy DeVito on a 7-day week cycle would have been able to play. But you saw the hits he took in the cutlets several times, so to speak. He's sore all over the short week there. It's just a matter of soreness in the short week. This is one of the disadvantages of playing on a Thursday.
Doc, quick defensive look there, too, with Eric Kendricks banged up coming into this one for the Cowboys. Should he be a go today, or think he might miss this one?
I think he might miss this one, Eric Kendricks, and that obviously is a big one as well. And Trayvon Diggs is likely to miss as well. So it should be a competitive matchup here, but traditional NFC East rivals on Thanksgiving. Hopefully, it's a good matchup. I know the public wasn't that excited given their records.
Doc, battle in the frozen tundra, Green Bay. It's going to be 28 degrees on 6 score. You have Green Bay at an 88. You have Miami at 83. Any key injuries on the Green Bay side that could affect this outcome?
Well, the big key injury on the Green Bay side is Jair Alexander, right? Jair Alexander with his knee issue, his PCL, and obviously a lot of offensive weapons at wide receiver for the Dolphins there. And then Romeo Doubs, wide receiver, has a concussion and will miss on the short week here. But Green Bay still is the healthier side. I always get a kick out of the frozen tundra. I get it, frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. We all hear that narrative. But they're the only field in the NFL that's heated. It's like heated bathroom floors in the wintertime. The tundra will not be frozen in Green Bay. I get the narrative to us from Hawaii. He can't play in the cold. But this isn't going to be the Kansas City playoff games where you open up a beer and it froze in the stands instantaneously. So it'll be cold. It'll be interesting, but Green Bay is the healthier side.
Doc, when you look at Tyreek Hill, he's battling the wrist injury and his performance has been affected. Where would you rate him on the scale in terms of performance level? Is the wrist a real main factor why his productivity has dropped off?
I think the risk can be a factor more for blocking than for catching passes. First of all, has Tyreek Hill dropped any passes with his wrist? I haven't seen it. What's affected is the scheme has changed since Tua's come back, partly because the offensive line, it's ball out quick. They're not getting yards after catch. There aren't as many downfield depth throws, and that's what's affecting Tyreek Hill's numbers, I think, more than his wrist itself. Until he starts dropping footballs, I don't see the wrist as a major concern. It's a ligament tear, similar but not as bad as Joe Burrow, but he doesn't have to throw the ball. This was from last year, Joe Burrow's wrist ligament tear.
Don, quickly, just zooming out some other key spots for the weekend. Brock Purdy, we're still waiting to figure out if he'll play for San Francisco on Sunday night. What are you guys projecting?
We went and looked through all the Week 11 video. There are 3 potential plays where he hurts his right shoulder. A run into the end zone, he gets hit throwing the ball, and he takes a shot on the back of the shoulder later in the game. He was tended to briefly in the third quarter. He's had 2 MRIs. We don't see anything significant on video that would prevent him from playing. He's had 2 MRIs that are clean. It's just a matter of swelling, soreness, and how he feels before he goes. The 49ers were surprised he was out Week 12. Week 13, we lean towards him being able to play this week against Buffalo, but we'll see what happens in the end. We just have to wait and look at the practice reports, and we'll know by Friday.
Quickly then as well, Doc, with everything again kind of looking towards the weekend, but we do have a game tomorrow. Aiden O'Connell has to go because Gardner Minshew with the season-ending injury there. How do you guys grade out Aiden O'Connell?
Yeah, they don't want to go Desmond Ridder. He just got there, right? Aiden O'Connell's thumb should be fine. It's 6 weeks. Physically, he should be okay to go. The worry is rust, and the worry is he's got to learn a little bit of a new offense too. Remember, they changed offensive coordinators. It's Scott Turner with the help of Norv Turner, our good friend here at Sports Injury Central, and they're running the show. And so it's more a rust issue on a short week than it is physical performance for Aiden O'Connell. And, of course, the Chiefs playing on the road in Kansas City is a tall order as well.
Yeah, certainly so. Excited to watch that one play out tomorrow. Doc, again, we appreciate it, and a happy Thanksgiving to you and the family.
Thank you.
All right, great stuff there. And, again, make sure you head over to 6sport.com. A little sell me something on the other side.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year. Put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards.
That was
Again! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
We live in a society right now where everybody's a snowflake, everybody's a cupcake, and everybody thinks that nothing is fair. Everything is like, it's not fair. We should have a better chance. We need more. You know what? I'm old enough to remember when you needed to have a perfect goddamn record to win a college football championship. That's the way it was. 11-1, too bad.
Sports Rage tonight. Only on SportsGrid.
Fillet Indiana. They would smash them. Honestly,
you listen to yourself speak? That's not a reality question. They have not played each other. You are using hypothetical.
Team, and they got embarrassed.
As so many
if
teams
they would
do.
have won that football, yes, that's you're
but that's the same
100%
time.
correct.
No.
The
Stop.
only
Please stop.
the only
Let me
argument
speak.
is Indiana is a decent football team and a product of their environment.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
He shouldn't need to hire outside help at this point to be able to help him, let alone outside help, Joe, that used to work for him.
Until they get him out of the way, I just don't see how this gets any better. And like you said, who are you picking from? Because most people who know the league want nothing to do with the ownership group there with the Jets.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Show me something. Could it be solo style? Likely not. We are jam-packed, as we should be, on a Thanksgiving special. Kevin Walsh, Donnie Rightside, and Joe Lisi. A little sell me something. I mean, can you believe it? It's just one of those. It's just one of those great segments. Look how fired up they are.
Yeah, we got hung up on the way back in, man.
We
Come
got
on.
hung
Yeah.
up. We
Lisa's
got
blocking me.
jammed up.
Yeah, jammed up. The door and then something else.
Yeah.
How do you feel about yourself?
I feel good. I was looking for higher levels.
I heard you had a bit of a situation last week on the
Whoa.
Tell Me Something on Sunday.
Yes. Oh, explain.
No.
Yes.
Wait a
Yeah.
second.
Good
All right.
story. Good
So
story. Glad you brought this up. Yep.
So
Love
wait,
this.
I text my sell me and all the picks to the producers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it was Sam Darnold 300 passing yards plus.
Now, hold on. But why do you do this, though? Why don't you just put it in there?
Because I'm old school.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go. All
So
right.
anyway, so when I put it in at the time, it was plus 470 at like 11:30 at night. The line moved from plus 470 to 550.
Mm-hmm.
So Sam thought it wasn't the 300 passing yards. It was the three
Touchdowns.
passing touchdowns. So I get on and I'm saying Sam Darnold 300 passing yards. You know me, I'm blind as a bat in terms of seeing the screen. I couldn't see that the graphic said 3 passing touchdowns. Yeah. We would have been fine, but you know who had to bring it to everybody's attention, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Would you have
So
bet
he
the
lost.
line?
He lost.
So anyway, I won.
No.
But
Well,
okay. All right.
mean-
He throws for He throws for
plus
320.
in overtime, does it count?
The
Oh, now the overtime doesn't count.
Did the
My
game even
best
get
bet
over?
was the over in the
It didn't
game.
even get over.
I give
technically. It
out
went to
the over
overtime.
in the game.
Right.
And
Oh,
I
so you're hot.
sailed through the total.
So you got a winner on the board.
Yep.
I feel strong
About today, sell me
about
something?
that. Yes, and I was
All right.
trying for higher levels.
Go ahead.
Wow.
So I was looking for a 400 on Caleb Williams today.
Wow.
Because I think he's going to slice and dice that Detroit secondary. I think a little tempo, a little hurry up, a little Keenan Allen in your life, a little DJ Moore.
Right.
Come get some. 325. He threw for 330 last week. 820.
That's a lot.
820. Open it up, baby.
Where was that? Local? Who getting out of the 820 today?
What do you think, guy on the corner? 86th Street special. That was the. Hey, I'll give you
Mulberry.
820 with Caleb
Mulberry
Williams.
Street style.
Mulberry Street special.
The general
plus
store
820.
is booking his bets now.
By the
That's
way, the
why he
bagels
stopped
I brought
there.
in, fantastic.
Yeah. They were
Fantastic
they
bagels today.
literally disappeared.
Do you like it?
Let me ask you this, because
Sure.
one of the markets out there now for the day, the Thanksgiving specials board to lead the day passing, lead the day rushing. How do you feel about a Thanksgiving leader's price on Caleb at 4-1 to have the most passing yards?
No, because that game at night does scare me, especially if Jordan Love and Tua get into a shootout. I do have a concern about that, even though it's cold weather. I still like Caleb, though, to push tempo. And, again, they might have found something. Back-to-back games now, you talk about the point perspective. 19 against Green Bay, 27 against Minnesota, one of the better defenses. I think he could eat today.
For me, how about this? Like, well, I'm going to climb a little ladder, but this ladder is a short one, like maybe 3-4 steps at this point. Drew Lock today stepping in. 200 yards passing and 2 touchdowns parlayed together, plus 450. I'm not asking to reinvent the wheel. Just play your position, and you should get that today, Joe. Come on, plus 450.
I do like it. I mean, Drew Lock, maybe he thinks he's back at Columbia dealing for the Missouri Tigers. Could be.
Is that
Big
where he
game
went?
against Arkansas this weekend. You never know.
I like that a plus 450 is not like actually climbing the ladder anymore.
Yeah, plus 100.
You know what I mean?
So we got to get back to plus 100s.
Yeah, I have a little 1-1, like 150 and 1.
Exactly. I mean, you know what? That might be the way to do it today,
Better
people.
change it up here. Sell me stuff. I had to create my own special.
Create it?
They weren't giving me what I wanted.
Wow.
I took all 6 quarterbacks in a parlay to throw for 200 plus yards.
All right.
What did the number come out to? Plus 644. Now, again, the tail is oldest. Yeah. Don, who's not? Now, you already got Locke going for 2.
Yeah, so he's definitely in. Caleb's definitely in here. Is it going to be the one guy who you probably think won't be that guy? Like Jared Goff. 190,
really?
198. Because
stop. Don't do that.
Gibbs.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Do you think that I can get it?
I think you
All
could get
6
it.
for 200?
Yes. I think the first game is going to shock.
Who holds it, though? Who are you worried about?
Tua.
I knew someone was going to say Tua.
Always he's bashing his favorite team all the time.
You got to look realistic. What did he do
took
last
a shot in that Thanksgiving market. Tua to lead the day passing. Tyreek lead the day receiving. A-Chain lead the day rushing. I mean, the Dolphins could have the best day in the history of their franchise today. I mean, I can't think of any
you're right.
others that would be better.
I'm on Tyreek, so I hope you're right.
All right, now we do Sunday Morning Crunch.
Ooh.
Reverse on a Thanksgiving. Come on.
It's a new era in CFP to start off this year. Put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards.
That was
in! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
We live in a society right now where everybody's a snowflake, everybody's a cupcake, and everybody thinks that nothing is fair. Everything is like, it's not fair. We should have a better chance. We need more. You know what? I'm old enough to remember when you needed to have a perfect goddamn record to win a college football championship. That's the way it was. 11-1, too bad.
Sports Rage tonight. Only on SportsGrid.
Fillet Indiana. They would smash them. Honestly.
You listen to yourself speak. That's not a reality question. They have not played each other. You are using hypothetical.
And they got embarrassed.
As so many
if
teams
they would
do.
have won that football, yes, that's you're
but that's the thing,
100%
guys.
correct.
No.
The
Stop.
only
Please stop.
The only
Let me
argument
speak.
is Indiana is a decent football team and a product of their environment.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
He shouldn't need to hire outside help at this point to be able to help him, let alone outside help, Joe, that used to work for him.
Until they get him out of the way, I just don't see how this gets any better. And like you said, who are you picking from? Because most people who know the league want nothing to do with the ownership group there with the Jets.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Sunday morning crunch time before a whip
Yeah,
around.
why is it called that?
What?
Well, we couldn't get the new Thursday morning crunch today?
Oh.
All right. Well, it's just.
You know what? To be honest with you, totally.
Did you even think? Yeah, I was wondering why you opened with Sunday morning crunch.
Well,
All right,
it is
well,
what it's called.
Yes, it's the segment. It's all right.
So we have to do on Sunday. That's
Should have a
work.
big
That's work.
Just replay.
Yeah, just replay the segment.
I don't know. Thanksgiving crunch. Does that work?
Stuffing.
You want to talk about Thanksgiving food like everybody else does?
Oh, man.
All right, go ahead. Quick, 30 seconds. Give me a Thanksgiving take, Lisi.
Meatballs and pasta to
You
start
get
at
stop.
2:30.
It's a bad words take of all
2:30.
time.
We're
I mean,
an Italian household.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
Italian
what
doesn't
can
eat
I
pasta.
say?
You
And
don't
then we
eat
have the
pasta.
turkey
No
at
way.
Get
it's Italian.
6:30 at night.
That is so
How do you not have
unacceptable.
meatballs in it?
No,
you're not
There's
Italian.
no meatballs coming. Now,
Yeah.
ziti, yes, I can say
No,
there's
come
no
on.
meatballs coming. out.
Absolutely.
No,
Instead,
that's
you
so
eat
how
it
we
with the
started.
turkey.
What?
Like what?
There's
is it like,
no
like,
way the first thing you said
is meatballs.
was meatballs
That
and
comes.
pasta.
That
But he
is,
doesn't
and then
even
the
eat pasta.
turkey. I'll have a couple of forkfuls.
That's a good point.
That
No,
we
that
put
was-
it up.
that's ridiculous.
Oh, stop! It's a tradition.
Yeah.
Italian household.
No,
First
no,
meal
I
is-
don't think that's even true.
That is.
By the way, what do you get seconds of though? Because you don't get seconds of everything typically. Like, what's your main go? Like the plate, like before the plate even gets finished, you're going up for something else.
Turkey, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese.
Yeah.
We just keep that
That's it,
rotation
and you-
going the whole day.
No cranberry.
I hang
huh?
in the sweet
No
spot.
By the way, hot
cranberry.
take: no gravy. No gravy.
I actually,
No
I don't use the
gravy.
gravy either. I don't.
Love it, love it.
or
No
the
either.
light gravy.
I don't
I'm
need
just
it.
curious. If
In
you
the
were-
house, it's dark, but I mean, I don't.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't need the gravy.
I like the light.
All right, we now go over to the most Italian human being apparently on planet Earth, who eats the same thing on Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, and
Yes.
if it happens to be any Sunday throughout the entire calendar year. Joe Lisi for his Sunday morning / Thanksgiving feast / 8 fishes in the sea crunch.
You're not from New York. Tri-state people understand that you have pasta and meatballs to start.
So
if
you
you're
talk
an
through the
Italian.
stinger, all right?
That-
You talk through this.
Yeah, we didn't get the stinger.
I
up
wanted
yet.
to hit. I wanted him to hit the stinger.
I
You
thought.
start
Yeah, I was
telling me
going to
I'm
get.
not from
I
New
was
York?
hoping that he hit the stinger.
That's
for that.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's unbelievable.
Jackson
Hit the
Heights.
stinger. Jackson Heights.
All right, we'll start in the Giant game. We talk about the Giants losing 6 straight. I think the Cowboys are the right side. It could be Cooper Rush, but I'm looking at Rico Dowdle over his total 68.5. He did get 86 yards. You look at that Giant defense last week, allowed 88 on the ground to Bucky Irvin. Tampa Bay ran it at will early in terms of the first half of that matchup. I think Rico Dowdle could potentially get to 80 or 90 yards later today. I'm on Keenan Allen, light number 49.5, came on in the second half against Minnesota, did have and develop that relationship with Caleb Williams. I'm expecting it to continue in terms of this matchup. I think he get to 50 or 60, even anytime touchdown at plus 250. That's the way to go. And Tyreek Hill over the 62.5. I did all Tyreek for a big day, 90 to 100 plus. I think he breaks out with a huge performance, guys.
Yeah, I like where you're going there, too, with the Keenan Allen, because if we're saying that they're going to stick around that football game and cover, it's got to be through the air. I truly believe that. So I'm going to certainly go with a Chicago Bears player as well. So I'll get to my crunch right now. Drew Lock over 194.5 passing yards today going up against the Dallas Cowboys. Not a great defense, and also sometimes you're without the X's and O's. Is Drew Lock's job today to manage the game and throw 15 times? No. He should be throwing it close to 30 times, which should get him around 200 yards. He's got weapons. Look, Wan'Dale's a pretty good wide receiver if he can get the football. They had 2 non-throwers of the football already this season. Drew Luck can throw the football, and also Malik Neighbors on that outside. Switch it up here and go Josh Jacobs on the ground over 71.5 rushing yards tonight. It's going to be cold weather. He's also had 5 straight games of 75-plus yards on the ground. I think that does continue tonight. And then getting back to Joe's point with Chicago. If Chicago is going to maintain distance here, or should I say close distance, to Detroit, Cole Kmet over 31.5 yards, back-to-back games over 40 yards. The passing game must win in Detroit for them to stay close in this one. That's what I'm looking at today. Accessible options, and I'm looking to crunch perfection
I
today.
like it. I like the look today. I think maybe we can go 9-0. All 3 of us.
3-0. I think I went 3-0 last week on the crunch. How'd you go? I forget.
I think 1 or
A
2.
bad
I think Connor.
What did Kevin do last week on the crunch? That's
He
right.
was 3-0.
I didn't lose a bet.
0-0?
3-0.
Didn't lose a bet. That's how it went. We had the Panthers last week. That's all I know.
Is that what it was?
Were you on this show telling people to lay it with the Chiefs?
Nah, I didn't have a good. I did like the over. I took the over 43.
All right, there you go. Great pick by you. All right, let's get into this crunch here. I was going to do one for each game. I didn't have the Drew Lock number up that I want. I was looking to get his longest completion there.
Yeah.
Whenever that gets out, that's
Right.
something I'm going to be hunting down. We do begin with Caleb Williams, though, over 31.5 rush yards. Since this team made some changes in the play calling room, we're seeing Caleb run a little bit more. 9 for 70, 6 for 33 in his last 2 games. Anthony Richardson got loose last week on the ground against the Lions. Kyler Murray did the same earlier this year. I know Caleb's maybe not that level of runner, but he's doing a lot more. I want to get involved there at 31.5. I'm going to go with Devon Achane, over 55.5 receiving yards. Nice bounce-back spot for still one of the most explosive players in football. Double-digit carries very consistently, and for him, that should be plenty when this season, very rarely does any back get 10-plus carries against this Packers rush defense and not clear 60, 70 yards in those games. And then the tight end for Green Bay, it's going to be Tucker Kraft. We've not talked a lot about it today, but no Romeo Doubs for the Packers. Opens up some work there. You do have Watson and Jaden Reed at the top, but I think Tucker Kraft is light at 31.5. We've seen Miami, something Lisi's talked about on the desk a few times, very vulnerable to the tight end position, Joe. I really like Tucker Kraft over the 31.5.
No, it's a great look. I mean, scored, hit, pay dirt. He has a great relationship with Jordan Love and has broken out in big performances. Again, if Miami takes away the deep ball, underneath should be open for Tucker Kraft to get through the number.
And that is correct. It's Devon Achane over 55.5 receiving yards?
Oh, rushing yards.
I can't take Achane. I did take a shot last week in terms of rushing and receiving. 80-plus got left at the door.
I like the Caleb. Caleb rushing, look, really getting active, and also in a game where you have turf, you might be a little bit laggy. It's up to the quarterback to keep you involved in that offense, and maybe he can do that. So we got a lot of optimistic opportunities here with the Bears today, looks like.
I'll just say, if you watch the game over the past couple of weeks against Green Bay and against Minnesota, Caleb's dialed in. I mean, he's emotional every time they score a touchdown. He looks like he wants to be the leader of that team. We'll see exactly how they game plan today. But again, why? You have nothing else to play for, right? You know you're dead man walking if you're Eberflus. Thomas Brown has called a pretty good game plan in back-to-back weeks. Open it up. You have an opportunity to make a statement against a divisional opponent. All eyes are on the product. I think he could step up today.
Yeah, I think it's so fascinating to see because you look at this game and how the Bears, there's so many spots you look at now where they let slip, right?
Yeah.
It's a little Cincinnati-esque, honestly. They should have never lost to Washington, obviously. They never should have lost that game to Green Bay. I'm not saying they should have beat Minnesota because it was miraculous that they got back into the game.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, everything broke their way then. They win the coin toss.
At home, you're supposed to win.
You got to close the door there. And that's a part of this losing streak here, right? Now, I'm not saying, listen, sometimes you lose close games. You have difficult losses. It happens to every single team. But if that 0-3 little window there is even just 1-2, that is enough to think, hey, maybe, right? With the way the Commanders are slipping a little bit, and if that's a 2-1 stretch, the vibes would be much different around Chicago. Do they get up again today? I think is a fair question because, man, they've had their hearts ripped out 2 straight weeks.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think the fact that it is a primetime game, first game on the board, Thanksgiving, all eyes are watching. I think that's why I'm backing them in regards to the 9.5 or even 10 and from the spread perspective, and even Caleb as well. Because, again, Caleb's going to be there. He's the face of the franchise. You still want to develop, right? You want to develop Caleb Williams for year number 2. You have to open it up. You can't be conservative tonight.
No, you certainly can't. But also, keep in mind, that line opened up at 10.5, now down to 9.5. So through that key number here. So some bets are certainly coming through Chicago. And I think they can keep it close. I really do. I would be surprised if this was a 36-6 final score. I think the Bears will be competitive today.
We're going to go through that game. We're going to go through the entire slate. Next, right here on our Thanksgiving special. We'll be right back on SportsGrid.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards.
That was
again!
But he had that program was already going there.
Only on SportsGrid.
We live in a society right now where everybody's a snowflake, everybody's a cupcake, and everybody thinks that nothing is fair. Everything is like, it's not fair. We should have a better chance. We need more. You know what? I'm old enough to remember when you needed to have a perfect goddamn record to win a college football championship. That's the way it was. 11-1, too bad.
Sports Rage tonight. Only on SportsGrid.
Fillet Indiana. They would smash them. Honestly.
You listen to yourself speak. That's not a reality question. They have not played each other. You are using hypothetical.
And they got embarrassed.
As so many
if
teams
they would have
do.
won that football, yes, that's you're 100%
the thing,
correct.
No.
The
Stop.
only
Please stop.
the only
Let me
argument
speak.
is Indiana is a decent football team and a product of their environment.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
He shouldn't need to hire outside help at this point to be able to help him, let alone outside help, Joe, that used to work for him.
Until they get him out of the way, I just don't see how this gets any better. And like you said, who are you picking from? Because most people who know the league want nothing to do with the ownership group there with the Jets.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Going through your Thanksgiving slate here on SportsGrid. It's Kevin Walsh, it's Donnie Rightside, and it's Joe Lisi. I just want to quickly ask this question of excitement, interest level on the Black Friday game that looks like it will be our newest NFL tradition, Chiefs-Raiders.
Yeah, no shot. I'll be watching college football. I'll have it on, but I won't be.
What college game's on for that time?
Well, Oklahoma State, Colorado's on, isn't it?
You don't even know.
Well, I haven't looked at the slate. 12 o'clock.
So you just downplayed this game, saying you are not watching it, but you don't.
No, I'm not watching
stop.
it. No, not at all. I'll have it on the phone, but I'm not betting it from a proper perspective or side. Didn't do it last year with the
Glass
Dolphins.
of wine.
No.
3 o'clock.
I'll be out.
Where are you
No
going?
way. Shopping.
Oh, God.
Shopping. College football on the phone. ESPN
Now, hold
with
on.
the
Now,
game
see how we can diagnose this. I'm watching college football. Where are you going to be? Out shopping.
Yeah, but I
so
have
you're
it
not
on the
watching
phone.
college football.
I have it
then.
on the phone.
Yeah, but that's not.
That's
see,
not watching college football.
No, it's not.
What, are you kidding?
You made it sound like that will not make it on my TV because college football is on. Joe, where are you going to be? Out shopping.
Yeah,
all right.
because it's the holiday. I shop on that.
We got it.
Well, so wait a second. So if you can't be with mobile phone, I watch all the NFL games.
Yeah, but see, that means you will not be checking in at all to that NFL game. That's a lie.
I just told you that.
So you the way you explained it, you will be watching college football and not the NFL game. But now you're shopping. But now you're watching both on your phone.
No, I'll have the game cast on Kansas City and the Raiders. I'm not going to watch it just to keep an eye out.
I don't know.
What do you,
he's taking the laptop. He's holding the laptop in the store.
Well, I don't understand.
Split screen on the phones?
You have the quad box for YouTube TV. So I don't understand. I watch all college football and NFL on. So guys, let me hear this.
We punched the
I
hole
don't
in
sit
it.
on my couch.
Hold on.
The only day,
on.
wait a second.
Yeah.
The only days I sit on my couch
It's Monday,
are right
Tuesday,
after
Wednesday,
college football
Thursday.
today. If we don't go out, I'm there from basically 1:30 until 9 o'clock at night.
Just so I'm
and then
clear.
I go out.
Just so I'm clear.
Go ahead.
Your big stance is I am not watching that
Yes.
game.
Right.
But it will on your phone as you're walking
Be
around
on the quad
store.
box.
You're on the quad box, taking up the same amount of space as the college football.
No.
So it's just not.
He's got the thumb on that game. Like, I will not watch this. I'll watch the other three. I won't watch it.
I don't understand how the games will be live on college. That
Screaming
game
out.
will
Is that
not
O'Connell?
be-
Is that O'Connell?
the
No, it's
game-
not O'Connell.
The
That's
game
actually
will
Mahomes.
not. The game will not be live for me on.
Oh, it's going to be on tape delay.
I
on
said
there.
The best is
Can't get through these guys.
the Colorado game's at noon. Like, it's Ole Miss
so
State.
good.
And
So
then you
good.
want, it's like a Utah State game.
I ain't watching that, but look.
I'm watching the
not
college
watching college
game.
either.
Oh,
Okay.
my
we
gosh.
got you.
Who said I'm not watching the
I mean,
college?
by the way, if you find a better breakdown of
Yes.
Chiefs Raiders,
Correct.
send it to me.
That's about as good as it gets.
You're not gonna. Let's get into the slate here. We'll go chronological order. It begins with the Bears and the Lions in Detroit, a 9.5-point spread, a 47.5 listed total. I took a shot on this under at 48.5. You can hear in my voice. It's not my favorite wager of our slate today. I do like the Caleb Williams rushing. I think Goff should be throwing for multiple passing touchdowns in the game. It's just a very big number where it only takes one offense to not do their part to keep this thing under that total. It's down to 47.5. This game's going to kick within about 45 minutes. I don't know if it'll trickle down anymore. I think there's a chance it comes back up. I try and wait. Get the best of the number. Every point matters when it's a Detroit Lions home game.
Yeah, divisional game. We talk about Detroit winning 9 straight by almost 20 points per game. But for me, it's a divisional game, and that's why I'm taking Chicago. I like Caleb. I like the development. I am on Keenan Allen over the 49.5. I lean to the over, but to your point, I'm going to watch the first quarter play out. If I get an area 41.5, even 42.5, I'm going to jump on that number because I think both offenses can move the football. Obviously, Jared Goff, the much more complete quarterback, but with St. Brown and all of those playmakers like Montgomery a little banged up, do have concerns, but I'm on Chicago.
Yeah, if you want points, you better be looking at Chicago in this game because last week, typically we say we don't even need a front runner here or a running mate with Detroit because we'll hammer you. You saw last week, they knew that they couldn't get beat in the passing game and just said, you know what, we'll settle on this, we'll hold you to 6 points, we'll score 20, game goes way under the total. You want to be aggressive if you're Chicago, and also Thomas Brown. How do you get a job in the NFL today, Joe? Hey, great win. What'd you guys do? We just ran the football. No, you got to throw the football to beat Detroit today. And if I'm looking at a parlay, just simple, Gibbs 12-plus rushes in this game, Gibbs anytime touchdown, and Keenan Allen 50 or more yards is a plus 450 price that I think makes sense today. All viable options here. And I think Jamar Gibbs, he gets into the end zone. Yeah,
he should be into the end zone 1,000%. I think he has himself a really nice day there. I don't disagree. Let's get over now to Cowboys-Giants here. 3.5-point spread, 37.5 total. Cooper Rush against Drew Lock. Honestly, half of that isn't surprising. If you were honest with yourself, Drew Lock should have always been starting this game, and he is. And now you get Cooper Rush on the other side. And, Lisi, it looks like you're going to trust him today.
I am going to trust him because this is a winnable game for Dallas. The fact that they had signs of life against Washington and stepped up. The rushing attack got going with Rico Dowdle. I think it continues today. I'm on him over 68.5. I think they can win this matchup anywhere from 7 to 10 points. Just not sold on the New York Giants overall. Loses a 6 straight. Whether Drew Lock starts is not the issue. What are you going to get out of that defense? They couldn't stop Baker Mayfield. I'm on Neighbors. I'm also on Wandale for longest reception, but that's the only way I'm going to play it. It's Dallas or bust for me.
Yeah, Dallas or bust for me, too. I think they win the football game. I just think they're better overall, but I am expecting something out of Drew Lock, which I didn't see last week out of certainly Tommy DeVito. The total in this game, 37.5. It's a tough one, but to be honest, both running backs, Joe, should average 4+ yards per carry, which means you should be ahead of the sticks today, which will help both of these guys out. The one thing we do worry about, we had Dr. Chow on, both tackles here will be a struggle going up against that Dallas pass rush. Let's see what Drew Lock has in that arm.
Yeah, for me, I really like the Giants in this game. To be honest with you, if Lisi's best bet wasn't Dallas, the Giants might have been my best bet.
Wow.
But the thing is
make it.
I'm a
Just make
team
it the
player,
best
and I
bet.
don't.
Yeah. What a toe-to-toe.
No, I mean, I still made the bet I wanted to make there, but. Look, I'll just tell you.
After the breakdown with
turkey
Kansas City
leg.
watching on Black Friday, make it the Giants. I want a little rooting interest.
Yeah, I
Put dinner
think you already
on it
have
again.
a little
Put dinner on it
rooting
again.
interest. And I mean, listen, I could have done it because if I know you, your real best bet's hidden inside 17 parlays there. Brian Dable with any starter that is not Daniel Jones, 8-3 against the number. Upgrade, buy low. Let's go Giants. We'll break this game, the rest of the slate down next. All right.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year. Put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards.
That was
But he had that program was already there.
Only on SportsGrid.
We live in a society right now where everybody's a snowflake, everybody's a cupcake, and everybody thinks that nothing is fair. Everything is like, it's not fair. We should have a better chance. We need more. You know what? I'm old enough to remember when you needed to have a perfect goddamn record to win a college football championship. That's the way it was. 11-1, too bad.
Sports Rage tonight. Only on SportsGrid.
Fillet Indiana. They would smash them. Honestly.
You listen to yourself speak. That's not a reality question. They have not played each other. You are using hypothetical.
And they got embarrassed.
As so many
if
teams
they would
do.
have run that football yes, that's you're
but that's the thing,
100%
guys.
correct.
No.
The
Stop.
only
Please, stop.
the only
Let me
argument
speak.
is Indiana is a decent football team and a product of their environment.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
He shouldn't need to hire outside help at this point to be able to help him, let alone outside help, Joe, that used to work for him.
Until they get him out of the way, I just don't see how this gets any better. And like you said, who are you picking from? Because most people who know the league want nothing to do with the ownership group there with the Jets.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back in. We're going to close it out here on a Thanksgiving special with SportsGrid. Again, a happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Appreciate you tuning in with us here. Wish you and all of your families the absolute best. Maybe I should have let you do that, Lisi. That is usually your gimmick, to wish everybody the best.
I do wish everybody the best. I want everybody to have a healthy and happy Thanksgiving.
One specific person, though?
No, we'll leave it.
Oh, stop. Come on. You see now.
Love you. Meet you for drinks tonight. Have them come over.
They know who they are.
Kevin Walsh, Donnie Rightside, and Joe Lisi. We're going to get to the Thursday nighter, and then we'll go through your best bet and touchdown scorers as well. The Miami Dolphins go to Green Bay as a 3.5-point dog. Total in this one, Lisi, 47.5. What do you like?
Yeah, so if I had to bet the side, I would lean to Miami. I'm not betting the side. I do think we get points in terms of the over 47.5. Knowing how Miami's performed in cold weather environments, that's a concern, but I still believe that they can move the football. Allen and San Francisco were able to move it on that defense last week in terms of the passing attack, but turnovers were critical. Why they got blown out by 28 points. I'm on Tyreek Hill. He hasn't had a 100-yard performance since week number one. I think he breaks out today. I know last week was Waddle. I don't know if Miami wins it, but it might come down to a field goal. Lean Dolphins, but really like the over 47.5.
I'm interested about this game, too. And you sort of have that day, the great word, to digest what's going to take place tonight, see how cold it is, see how amped up they get at this point. But I am interested in that minus 3.5, where it hasn't moved. And Joe started the show off saying, boy, that looks light. 4s, 4.5s, maybe 5s would have made a little bit more sense. The Miami Dolphins 5-6 record going on the road in cold weather on a short week here. It's crazy that they're getting the respect. So if you are reading the line, technically for me, that's a Miami Dolphins line. But I do think the Packers win this football game. Quick little parlay I put in. Waddle's the guy, Joe, I'm focusing on tonight as opposed to Tyreek Hill. Waddle for 50 yards, Jacobs for a touchdown, and Achane for 35-plus yards rushing. That's a plus 465 price, so I'll be having fun tonight on this game.
I'm on Tucker Kraft over 31.5 receiving yards. Miami struggling against tight ends. Kraft with probably an increased workload due to the absence that you will be seeing from Romeo Doubs. And also in terms of the Green Bay side, I do think all the main quarterbacks on this slate, which is to me Goff, Love, and Tua, throw multiple passing touchdowns. You get some of those no-sweat parlays out there. I think that's I know that's one way that I look to play it. But I'll just kind of use this as a transition to get to what is my best bet on today's slate. The Miami Dolphins team total over 21.5. 23-plus points now scored in consecutive games, or in fact, since Tua's come back, they've been over this in all the games, even in the losses to Buffalo and Arizona. Tua Tagovailoa has arguably been the best quarterback in football since he returned from that concussion, and it has been major for Miami to make this postseason push. A Packers defense that I am not a massive believer in, who's had two of their best performances in their last two games. I look to sell high on that side of the ball for this team, who's not held three straight opponents under a 21.5 number as well. I really like the chances for Tua and Miami to answer the bell. They know the narrative. Outside, cold weather, they won't show up. I think they do here tonight. Go over the team total, Joe.
Well, if it does go over the total, that would lean to the over 47.5. So you're going to need Miami to contribute in some capacity. They can't score 6 points like they did in Arrowhead last week. So my best bet in terms of this week is Dallas. Well, minus the 3.5. I understand they've lost 5 games at home this year by an average margin of 23.5 points per game, but you have a wounded duck coming into your building. Smell the blood in the water. Be the shark and dominate Drew Lock, a backup quarterback. I don't know what you're going to get out of the Giants. It's all Dallas for me.
All right, let's get to my best bet. Wide receivers stick together on Thanksgiving. By the way, 1995, Joe, my last Thanksgiving Day game in high school. And look, 65.5 yards from Malik Neighbors. I'm going over. But let me premise this. I had a 44-yard catch and a 31-yard touchdown called back by procedural penalties here. Not to you today, Malik. No penalties on your big catches over 65.5. We eat good today in this game. I didn't eat good in 95. Disgraceful.
88 was mine, and yes, I had a touchdown call back on Thanksgiving Day as well. But what do you
Was that
do?
the JV game?
No JV game.
I thought you played defense.
I played wing back. Yeah, wing back.
We got to get the tapes. I need tapes. You got tapes?
Yeah.
Wow. Travis Hunter.
I'll show you.
What did you do on Thanksgiving Day? Did you ever play football? Did you play football?
Did we play on Thanksgiving Day, actually? I don't think we actually played on the actual day. We played on, like, the Friday or something like that.
All right.
Yeah. I was a left tackle, so, it wasn't
tackle eligible. They didn't hook you up your senior year.
No,
like, hey, Kev, get you in the end zone one more time.
You couldn't tuck it and run like the Bears?
I like the kid, actually, so it's fine. All right, your touchdown scorers here. I'm going to rock with Tyreek Hill at plus 155. Sometimes, you talk about Malik Neighbors being hungry. Tyreek Hill's tweeting like, I don't know why Devon A-Chain keeps catching every touchdown pass. I love that. Plus 155. I think he gets in, Donnie.
Josh Jacobs minus 165. Yeah! In the first half, baby, he gets that.
Go big or go home. Keenan Allen plus 250. Hit Baker last week. He eats tonight.
Happy Thanksgiving. We will see you on Sunday.
We live in a society right now where everybody's a snowflake, everybody's a cupcake, and everybody thinks that nothing is fair. Everything is like, it's not fair. We should have a better chance. We need more. You know what? I'm old enough to remember when you needed to have a perfect goddamn record to win a college football championship. That's the way it was. 11-1, too bad.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Grandma Bear, who owns the football team, probably comes in, gives a little, oh, man, you're such a good little boy out there. Congratulations, the way you coach this football team. I'm never going to fire you.
Totally, I missed you pinching your own cheeks as I was looking down and did not know we were getting.
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there with that guy named Ben. Like, that's what your grandma would do to you when you go see her on Thanksgiving or Christmas,
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Together, both Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson had huge nights. Aaron Rodgers loves the two big targets, and he says if this is going to happen, going to be very tough on the defense to decide who they want to go after.
Adams and this kid, Wilson, I won't deny what they can do, but nobody else does jack.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on